I look over my shoulder, terrified for the mechanic. I'm a big fan of cars. I always wanted one ever since I was a little girl. While all my friends were into Barbies and doll houses, I liked toy cars. My dad used to have an old Dodge Charger. It was really loud. I loved to sit in it in the driveway. Anyway, fast forward some years and there I was, the proud owner of a driver's license. That Charger was too powerful for me, so Dad bought me a Ford Focus. It was such a small car that I quickly fell in love with it. I was passionate about it and managed to make it my own. I customized the interior, amongst other things, and that car is still the one I have today. I am 21 now, but I wouldn't part ways with my car very easily. Being an old car, it breaks down, of course, so I had to find a mechanic. And after a quick Google search, I found one close to where I lived. I drove to the shop, and after identifying the problems, he told me to come the next day when the parts will be delivered. He asked for my phone number so that he can call me when he's all set. Later that evening, I got a call. It was from the mechanic. He told me that he would want to take me out on a date tomorrow after he fixes my car. I'm flattered, but I have a boyfriend. I lied through my teeth, not wanting to hurt his feelings. Oh, yeah, of course you're not single. Or maybe I'm not your type. Never mind, he replied before ending the conversation. The next day, I went to the shop after he specifically told me that the parts arrived. But when I got there, he informed me that they had screwed up the order and I had to come back the next day. But you just texted me 10 minutes ago, I said, being visibly frustrated. You don't have to get angry. This is how things are sometimes. But I'm sure someone like you wouldn't know that, he said in a condescending tone. I wanted to go to another mechanic, but being a small town, I didn't have any options that beat his price. I went home that evening. After watching a movie with some pretty racy sex scenes, I was so turned on, so I decided to go on Tinder. I started swiping right and left, and soon after that, I got a message. To my surprise, it was the mechanic. I was shocked when I read what he wrote me. He called me names, saying that I am a liar, among other things, and that I played him. You told me you had a boyfriend, but I see you're online on Tinder. Does your boyfriend not fulfill your needs, or were you lying to me? He then said that he's not sure when the parts will come in. There may be a little more of a delay now. Instead of replying, I decided to ignore him. Seeing that I'm still online, he sent me another message. In this one, he said he was sorry and told me that he will come over with a bottle of wine. Upon reading that, I told him that he doesn't know where I live, and if he doesn't stop, I will call the police. But he just replied with a laughing emoji. The next thing I did was block him. But about an hour later, my doorbell rang. I went to see who it was, and there he was standing with a bottle of wine in his hand. I didn't open the door. I pretended that I wasn't home. I was standing on the other side of the door, listening, hoping he would go away. He said, "I'm sorry. I just came to apologize. Here, I bought you a bottle of wine to make up for it." All I kept saying to myself is, just leave. But he kept saying, "Hello, hello." Finally, I told him to go away or I will call the police. I could see him walking away through the peephole. I stayed there for a couple of minutes and went to the kitchen. A loud boom startled me. It sounded like a kick to my door. I went back to the front door. He was nowhere to be seen. I opened the door to see if he had thrown something or if it was a kick. Then he appeared around the corner. "Let's just talk about this. I got angry, but I'm okay now," he said. "Stay away from me," I yelled as I went back inside. But before I closed the door, another voice caught my attention. Luckily, my neighbor saw the strange man and heard the commotion. He came to see if I was alright. "Hey Sarah, are you okay?" he asked me while staring at the mechanic. I told him what was going on, and my neighbor told the strange man to leave, but that wasn't going to happen. He said that he was my boyfriend, even though I said that he was lying. I was calling the police. When he saw me dialing, he said that there was no need to do that, and that I'm leaving. But I continued dialing because I wasn't sure how this was going to end. Besides, I wanted this documented. He got angry and threw the bottle down towards me. He looked at my neighbor and said, "Oh man, you came at me and grabbed me. I let go of the bottle. Oops." He said that in case the police asked about it. At that moment, my neighbor took a few steps towards him. I suppose he didn't want a confrontation, and then walked back to his car. "Thank you so much," I told the neighbor who saved me. "Who was that guy?" he asked. "Some creepy mechanic." And right after I said that, I saw the deranged man tackled my neighbor. The two got into a scuffle, and I screamed for them to stop. My neighbor got the best of him and told him to leave in a very colorful way. "This isn't over," the mechanic said, looking back at me before walking away. "I'll come back for you too," pointing to my neighbor. They looked for him in the entire neighborhood, but he was nowhere to be found. The police officer advised me to sleep somewhere else that night, so I called to book a room in a hotel. Fortunately, I haven't seen him since, but some days I get a feeling that someone is watching me. I look over my shoulder, terrified, for the mechanic.